Good evening, Rivermont Collegiate families, alumni, SKSM alumni, Rivermont Collegiate alumni, students, faculty, staff. Welcome to this evening. We're coming to you live from the STEAM Center. For you alumni that haven't been on campus in recent times, come and visit us at your convenience, at your pace. Come and take a look at this fabulous facility. We're in the chemistry laboratory, and just 2 short years ago, if you could have seen the laboratory that we were in the basement of the mansion, we've come a heck of a long way. I'm Drew Boster. I'm the Director of Development here at Rivermont, and I've been accused of going on and on a little too long on the accomplishments of Rivermont. But as I was reminded last night at our Parents Council Zoom meeting, if we're not talking it up, if we're not bragging about this school, who is? And so you're going to have to put up with me for a bit. We've come a long way in a short period of time. When our headmaster came a few short years ago, we were a struggling little school of about 173 students. Last year, we closed the year at 244. Now let me repeat that. We were at 173. We were at 244 last spring. I'd like to say it's all because of our headmaster. It wasn't. We have an outstanding admissions person, Phil Dunbridge. We encourage our families to refer names to Phil, but he's done a fabulous job. But as Max would say, it takes a village or it takes a family to put this all together. And enrollment is one indicator of how things are coming along at the school. And needless to say, we've come a long way. We also put in a boarding program a couple of years ago. And I remember at a board meeting, one of our distinguished board members said, how many students do you have in the boarding program? And I think Phil was the one that got up and said, 5. Well, you've got to take some baby steps in order to get to the end of the tunnel. And I'm pleased to report to you, again, a phenomenal figure of our boarding program being completely full. We do not have any rooms available for boarding students. And the beauty of that, for those families that are tuned in with Rivermont on a daily basis, you can see the interaction of students from Africa, from China, from Morocco, interacting with our students stateside. So it's been a true global experience for our students here, as well as students experiencing it from all over the world. We're ranked number 1 on the Iowa AP Index. We're also ranked number 1 best high schools for STEM in the state of Iowa. And we've had over the last several years 100% of our graduates being admitted to colleges and universities, and in a lot of cases 6 and 8 applications accepted. And I think the astonishing figure that resonates with me is, I think it was 2016 or 17, we had a small graduating class of 12 or 14 students, and that group achieved 2.4 million, or they received 2.4 million in academic scholarships. Now, you do the mathematics on that. That's just absolutely phenomenal that class could receive that many scholarships, academic scholarships. I could go on and on about the exciting things that are happening at Rivermont, the accomplishments. We've come a heck of a long way. We've got, I think, a nice evening planned for you. We're going to hear from 2 distinguished individuals, our headmaster and our president of the Parents Council, Karen Khaliq, and I think you'll enjoy hearing from them. We also have a couple of videos that we would like to intersperse as we go throughout the evening, and I think at this time we'd like to do one of those. I think it's Lauren Sears, a recent graduate for from Rivermont. Enjoy.
Hello, my name is Lauren Sears. I graduated from Rivermont Collegiate in 2015. I went to Lake Forest College and majored in communication with a minor in history. I'm currently working as a film liaison for National Geographic Secrets of the Zoo and a communication assistant at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Although it has been 5 years since I graduated from Rivermont, it still is an important part of my life, and I continue to stay as connected as possible. Honestly, I can't imagine my life without it, and it's a place and a group of people who I will always care about. Through Rivermont, I was able to make friends who are basically family, learn from some of the most inspirational, caring, and impressive teachers, and to become a well-rounded individual. I found that the advanced classes and teaching style really prepared me for the style of my college classes. I was able to write essays and participate at a level above many of my other colleagues. It also taught me that the importance of having a good connection with teachers was paramount. The school really pushes you towards a can-do attitude and made me into a self-starter and a motivated individual. This is something that has been really beneficial when it came to the workforce. It helped me get promoted within the first couple of months at my last job and helped me get my current position at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Rivermont truly made me into the person I am today, and I owe a lot to them. Whether it's the fond memories, lifelong friends, or all the things I learned, my years at Rivermont were some of the best years I've ever had. Thank you.
Again, I would like to emphasize the fact, thank you, Lauren, for that wonderful testimonial. And you'll hear a couple more before the evening's over. And again, for special thanks to those Bears fans that are taking time out of not watching the Bears game to hear about the exciting things at Rivermont Collegiate. If you haven't been on campus recently, and I'm speaking to not just the families, but to the alumni of St. Catherine, St. Mark's, as well as alumni of Rivermont Collegiate, I encourage you to come back. We've made some campus improvements that are just absolutely phenomenal. Some of you will remember the Carriage House. The Carriage House is now a residence hall for women. And what Jim Russell and his team did to make that possible is just phenomenal. And it goes without saying that we would not be in this position of a new art facility as well as a residence hall, both in the STEAM Center and the Carriage House, without some faithful supporters out there. And again, I emphasize how thankful and appreciative we are of what you've done and the way the campus has improved. At this time, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce our headmaster. He would be referred to in many cases as our #1 cheerleader at Rivermont Collegiate, Max Roach.
All right, thank you, Drew. Well, ladies and gentlemen, first I would like to also thank you for taking time to join us tonight. We have done amazing things over the last 5 years. And I'd like to start by saying when I interviewed here, I only interviewed reluctantly. I thought, I don't know, Iowa, really Iowa? And I remember calling my wife, Alethea, after that first day and saying, honey, you're not going to believe it. This school is amazing. There's no reason why it should be struggling. We can do this. And also, this place is awesome. The Quad Cities has hills. First of all, it's not flat. There's great food, arts and entertainment. This would be a great place to raise our kids. And so somehow I convinced the board that I was the right guy and moved my family out here. We bought a home in the Quad Cities, and I have never been more personally and professionally satisfied in my life. The challenges that Rivermont has faced and continues to face are intellectually stimulating beyond measure, and more importantly, the people that I'm in the trenches with are the best I've ever worked with. I want to say thank you to Drew Boster. He calls me the #1 cheerleader. I don't think I've ever worked with someone who's more positive, ceaselessly positive. On a day when I'm feeling a little blue, I just need to go for a coffee with Drew, and that's it. So we really have quite a lot to celebrate. We've got a bigger graduating class last year than ever before, and this year we're going to have 40 graduates here in the U.S. We're also going to have about 70 graduates overseas. That's right, we are running Rivermont Collegiate International Schools now. So we have the Rivermont name spread all over the globe, and we have a lot to be proud of with that. Here in front of the mansion, whether it's socially distanced or we don't know the circumstances yet, we will be handing 40 high school diplomas to our graduating seniors. That is a true accomplishment, and it isn't just me, and it isn't just Mr. Dunbridge, and it isn't just Drew. It's the custodians. It's Mr. Charlie, who loves those kids and knows their names and laughs with them and teases them. It's the teachers who go the extra mile, who show up early and stay late. They take calls on weekends and answer emails on a Sunday evening. This truly is a lovely community, and I'm just couldn't be more honored to be considered part of it. So I want to say thank you to Drew and also to Kay, because as Kay came in, she brought just such a breath of fresh air and runs those meetings very well, and she receives high praise from everyone. So just couldn't be happier to be in the trenches with so many wonderful people. All right, so the state of the school is strong. And I would dare say the state of the school is stronger than it has been in at least 20 years. Enrollment has been through the roof. Revenue per student is way up. Our costs have come up, of course, but over the last 4.5 years, we've seen a 60+% reduction in our operating cash deficit. Right. So between 2008 and when I took over, of course, the recession hit the Quad Cities pretty hard. Right. We saw a big jump in need for financial aid, and we continued to meet that need because we believe that here at Rivermont, we work with academically driven students, not necessarily just the rich kids, not just this type of kid or that type of kid or just the athletes. We work with academically driven kids. So we bend over backwards. We go the extra mile to make this available for all the kids who can make it work. But we've also seen hard times. And as strong as our enrollment trend was right up until COVID hit, COVID really took a big chunk out of our progress. So we are currently at 206 students enrolled, still 19% up from where we were. However, we had been much higher at 244 at the end of last spring. Now we've come into a cash crunch, and let me explain a little bit about what that means. A cash crunch occurs when there's a misalignment between your revenue cycles and your expense cycles. As the spring wore on and everybody sheltered in place, our fundraising was less than we hoped. Everybody was so uncertain, and we were trying to raise money for the school to help pay off this building that's so beautiful, that is really actually attracting kids, and our retention is better from middle school to high school than it's been in a very long time. A lot of to do with more teachers with advanced degrees and better facilities. But I'll tell you, we just weren't raising money like we hoped to last spring. And the teachers did amazing things. They worked ceaselessly and tirelessly through their own fears and also some tears and frustrations with technology, and I can't log on, and parents complaining to the teachers that their printer doesn't work, asking our teachers for help, troubleshooting their printer. But the teachers did it. Against all odds, they did it. And we learned a lot in the spring, but we made it through. And I thought, okay, we'll have summer school, we'll do it distanced. We had all the plans, but we just couldn't move forward with summer school. And that cost us about $100,000 in revenue. So we were behind on fundraising, we were behind on revenue from summer school. We have some pledges that are outstanding we had hoped to receive. They're not due yet, but we hoped that we would get them to make some payments on the debt for this big STEAM building. So we paid over $300,000 in our debt to the STEAM building, and a lot of that came out of operational money, not out of donations. What that means is, coming into the fall, we were $300,000 plus summer school, that's $400,000, plus the fundraising in the spring we hope to do, we were more than $400,000 short in our cash. And I haven't even started to talk about the additional expenses related to COVID. Okay, so in addition to seeing a drop in revenue, we also saw additional expenses both last spring as well as this fall. It's everything from a remarkable amount of paper towels and sanitizing wipes and hand sanitizer. We've got plexiglass screens for some of the classes. We're doing food service in the elementary classes to do better cohorting, to keep kids safe. We got temperature taking machines that take every student's temperature every single day. We have gone above and beyond. We even got one of those nebulizer misting machines that creates an electrostatic charge in the room, and then it puts out this magic dust or something, and it coats all the surfaces and kills all the COVID. So these things are expensive, but you know, when it comes across my desk, I have to ask myself, how much risk am I willing to take with other people's children? You know, if my own kid climbs a tree and falls out, that's just what we call Tuesday at my house. But your kids, I've got to care for a little bit more. Okay, so we have gone above and beyond. We have really gone above and beyond. I want to go back into the summer. As summer school didn't happen and the pandemic continued to spiral out of control, we started hearing from families primarily in preschool through 5th grade. Now, what we heard was almost verbatim across 30 plus families. There are too many unknowns. I don't know if I'll be home, stuck at home with my kid, trying to figure out distance learning. And I can get a, you know, lousy education for free somewhere else if I'm going to be stuck at home with my kid. And for a lot of these parents, when that all coupled with the need for childcare, that was just too much. So of those 40 families that we're down, almost all of them are actually 5th grade down into the preschool age. And that makes sense. You know, I had a lot of tough conversations this summer. I really heard people. I get it. You know, it's a child care issue. They're going to need to be home with their kid. And if their kid is sheltering in place because we've had an outbreak at Rivermont, or they're sheltering in place because they've had an outbreak at some other school, they're still going to be taking time off of work, home with their kid, trying to remember how to do long division or whatever. And that's not a feel-good situation for that family. So they would say, you know, look, the first payment's coming out and we got to withdraw because I just don't know about my job, or I don't know about child care. And so for those younger kids, the parents of those younger kids, it was really hard. Now, here's some good news. We haven't had to shelter in place. In fact, we have not had a single exposure. We have not had a single known exposure on our campus. Of course, now that I said that, we'll have 10 tomorrow. But what I want to say is we are taking so many precautions. There's what we are supposed to be doing, and then there's what we are doing. We're taking so many precautions that we have not had a single case of known exposure on campus. And we're in class face to face with our swanky Rivermont masks 5 days a week. And I just want to take a moment and say how powerful that is, that my children are not home with me, and also I'm not at home with my children. So yes, it's been expensive. Yes, it's been hard, but we've got so much to celebrate. And our teachers fought like the devil to get in and get going with those kids, and they literally conquered fears and tears associated with not only technology, but they're worried about their own safety or their grandma's safety, or their husband has, you know, a condition that could be complicated or whatever. They're putting themselves at risk because they love your kids. And that, I think, you know, we just can't say anything more than that in terms of what we do and why we do it. We love the kids. I love the high fives. I miss the hugs. All the little kids, especially in the 2nd, 3rd grade, those kids are huggers. They've been huggers since they were in preschool. I go in and it's like Mr. Roach. They all come and grab onto me and give a big group hug. So now it's air hugs, but it's still 5 days a week. Thank goodness. All right, so let's talk reality. The school's facing a cash crunch, but it is not broken. The state of the school is stronger than it's been in decades, literally decades. I'm standing in a brand new $4.5 million building. We've remodeled the Carriage House, brand new art classroom and pottery facilities, plus a dormitory, plus faculty housing. We've got 5 faculty members living on campus 24/7 all year round. Security is stronger than it's ever been with that 24/7 presence on campus. Haven't had a single break-in or anything, and those were common things before we had people living on campus. The state of the school is strong. Enrollment is strong. What we're experiencing here is a temporary blip. We're in the middle of a COVID, and I'm sure that none of you watching here are surprised to hear that Rivermont's facing financial challenges. My message to you tonight is that the school is not broken, but it does need your help. So that's what we're going to talk about for the rest of tonight. Before we go on, I'd like to hear from another one of our students. Mr. Boss, if you could bring up another one of these amazing kids. We had some students volunteer just to, oh yeah, let me talk about Rivermont. Let's hear from one of them now.
Hello everyone, I am Aaliyah Ray Christopher and I go to Rivermont Collegiate and I am in 2nd grade. And I love my teachers because Miss Paris is kind, she helps us with our math, she teaches us different types of math. And Miss Dunbridge teaches us science, Miss Greer teaches us art, Miss Bivens teaches us PE, Miss Freemeyer teaches us music, Senora Durango teaches us Spanish, and I want you to help our teachers by donating to the Rivermont Annual Fund. Thank you.
All right, we're back. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the president of our Parents Council, Kay Khaliq. And then after that, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how we're going to get past this. Like I said earlier, we are going to need your help. If the school's going to make it through this, we all have to step up. We've done a lot to reduce our costs, but we are going to need your help. Okay?
Thank you. So I'd like to just take a minute from a parent perspective here and say that how amazed I am of what Rivermont has done to keep our kids safe. And you know, the teachers, the staff, they all love our kids as much as we do. I don't know very many schools that have gotten to the point where they're going to school 5 days a week, full time, in person, and haven't had any COVID cases. Now, we're all here hoping that we're not jinxing that by mentioning that, but I know my kids are doing much better with the social interaction in the classroom than through a lot of the challenges they were having in March and April and May. And so, you know, it's just amazing. And I want to thank the teachers. They have gone so far above and beyond to make sure everything's in place, to help teach new protocols, to, you know, keep our kids happy, safe. And last night we had a really good parent council meeting and a discussion about how the teachers and the parents can work together during COVID. It was a really good discussion. We shared ideas, shared things that were going on, and my biggest takeaway from that was that everybody seems to be adjusting. We had some hiccups, obviously end of last school year were hiccups. We had some hiccups the first couple of weeks of school, but everybody seems to be adjusting. Kids are happy, kids are doing well, teachers are adjusting, teachers are getting more comfortable, and I think parents are finding that this in-person school is really helping just the whole family get along. Parents Council, our mission here is to support the programs and the activities that benefit the whole Rivermont community. Unfortunately, because of COVID and our abundance of caution, we have our fundraisers we normally do to support the school and the kids and the teachers have either been postponed to spring or significantly scaled back. And nobody can tell me that it's a hard choice. Do I have an in-person book fair or do I have an online book fair and not put the kids at risk? That's a no-brainer. We're having the online book fair. And we'll adapt and we'll make changes and we'll do whatever we need to do, just like all our teachers and our students have been doing since last year. Okay? But the school's needs right now are pretty significant. And so we are this year, and nobody can say this year is not unique. So this year we are partnering with the school to encourage your participation in making a meaningful donation to help support our kids, our teachers, keep them safe, keep these programs going, keep the school in its upward trajectory. So I just want to really encourage you that there's no better cause than our kids. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kay. Excellent. Yeah, excellent job. So what I'd like to talk about now is what we have done so far and the specific plan moving forward. We have been doing a very deep dive into the school's finances, a thorough analysis of every program, grade, every expense, everything. And the problem is not expenses. We have seen more expenses related to COVID, but programmatically, our school expense-wise is very healthy. So again, I want to reiterate that this is a temporary problem caused by a global pandemic. We can get through it. We'll be stronger than ever, but here's what we're going to do to get there. We unfortunately are in the position where we're going to need to assess an additional surcharge to our families. So if you are a family of a current student, you'll be receiving an invoice for $1,000 per family. That's not per student, okay? I know that we have some families for whom $1,000 might as well be $1 million. Give me a call, come see me, we will work with you, okay? If you're a donor with significant capacity to give and you want to assist, we have had donors already step up and say, you know what, I'm going to sponsor 7 families for that $1,000, okay? Because we do have that kind of need right here in Rivermont. So that's the first part. We're going to be assessing that fee. And then this is what we call a double ask in fundraising. We're going to be coming back to you in addition to the fee, which is a mandatory surcharge for actual COVID-related expenses. We're asking you to go above and beyond and try to hit $2,000 in addition per family as a donation to the school. So that's a total of $3,000 more per family, not per student. Again, we know that not every family will be able to do this. We know that. But we want you to stretch. We want you to dig deep because our success this year depends on it. Now, I've been very proud to not have to touch any of the corpus within our endowment until the global pandemic hit. But this year I had to do it. And let me tell you, nothing feels worse than having to liquidate some corpus of your endowment. But we did it in order to pay off $1.2 million in debt that we still owed for Becker Hall. For those of you not familiar, that's our elementary school building that was built, I think, around 2002 or 5. We still owed 1.2 on that building. So we paid that down, and that helps us avoid over $80,000 in principal and interest on that debt. Okay, so it was a tough move, but it was the right move because that helps alleviate an immediate cash crunch. The whole senior administrative team has taken a pay cut. And no one's going to lose sleep when you hear that management takes a pay cut, right? I get it. With your help and with your support, we're going to avoid any further cuts for faculty and staff. it's really important to me that we all step up and make sure that we take as good care of our teachers as they take of our children. Okay, so that is the plan. We want you to dig deep, call your crazy Uncle Jim, call your grandma, empty your piggy bank, whatever you need to do. You'll be hearing more about per class goals and how you can support in the future, but until then I'm going to pass it over to Drew, and he's going to tell you how you can help tonight.
Thanks, Max, and thank you again, Kay, for your leadership and your words this evening. Max said if you have questions, if you have concerns, anything at all, Max would say, see Phil. But please feel please feel free to write down questions. Come and see us. If you have questions, if you want to do it over the phone, that's fine. The way to donate, simply sign a check. I remember Max saying early on, Drew, I give you all the credit in the world. And I said, Max, I don't want your credit. I want your cash. If you want to write out a check, that's great. Put it in the mail. Make a pledge. Let us know. Our number, my extension is 314 at the school. You can go to rivermontcollegiate.org and click the Give Online link at the top of the page, or you can text Rivermont Rocks, one word, to 44-321 to get the link on your mobile device. Was that too quick, or did you get that? Rivermont Rocks, one word, to 44-321 to get the link on your mobile device. I thank you for your consideration of what we've asked tonight. I thank you for your time. We do have a couple of special videos that we'd like to share with you at the end, if you can stick around. But thanks for what you do, and please feel free to contact us with any questions or anything at all. Thanks so much, Rivermont Collegiate, SKSM alumni. You're special out there. You've done a lot for us. We've got a long way to go. We've got teachers are the reason that we're here, and teachers and your students are the reason, but the teachers are awfully special, and they're going above and beyond the call of duty. Thanks so much. Thanks, Max, and thanks, Kay. Yep.
Hi, I'm Anna Senjem, and I'm a 2020 graduate of Rivermont Collegiate, and now I'm a freshman at University of California, Berkeley. Rivermont really prepared me for college. There are plenty of AP classes and many opportunities for community service and extracurricular activities. With the education I received at Rivermont, I was able to become a National Merit Scholar finalist, an AP Scholar with distinction, and an Iowa State Governor Scholar. All of these opportunities help prepare me to attend the #1 public university in the world. With the tools I acquired at Rivermont, I'm able to balance my coursework, and I just aced my math quiz. Go Lions!
Hi, my name is Christopher. I'm in 4th grade at Rivermont, and I like Rivermont because the teachers are awesome. We need you to donate to Rivermont today.
Hi, my name is Lauren Saline, and I am a graduate of Rivermont Collegiate, class of 2015. Go Tigers! I just had to take a moment to share how important the Rivermont education to me was. I was a student there from kindergarten until 12th grade, and I can assure you that Rivermont really provided me with the skills that I needed to succeed, both at Washington University in St. Louis for undergrad, where I studied political science and Spanish, and then now at Vanderbilt Law School, where I am a 2L student, and I still find myself today using a ton of skills that I learned at Rivermont, whether that's a little nuanced way of how to write an essay, or whether that's collaborating with my peers or just diving headfirst into any experience, because that's just the Rivermont way. I still find myself doing these things today, and Rivermont is such a special place, and I hope you feel the same way.
All right. Thanks to those kids and young adults. We heard from Lolly Talene, who's currently studying law at Vanderbilt University, doing her graduate studies there. Fantastic family, wonderful supporters. But you know what? Lolly is just emblematic of all of our kids. We have so many go-getters, and the sky is the limit for those kids, and that's why Rivermont's here. We're not the right fit for everybody, but boy, for the right kid, we can help them soar. Now, I want to finish with just a couple quick notes. Drew and I are out wearing out our shoes, wearing out the leather on our shoes, talking to community members who are developing a pool. It's a challenge pool. So when we say we're going to ask you, the families of students, to give an additional $2,000, I'm working on a challenge that will match every dollar you guys give. Now, if we can match every dollar you guys give and hit that $3,000 per family, we're going to be able to restore some of the money back into the endowment that we had to borrow. Okay? And that is very, very important. We're also going to be able to get through the year without having to reduce any pay further. Okay, so please take a moment, dig deep, make that stretch commitment, give early and give often, as Drew likes to say, like voting in Chicago. You can text Rivermont Rocks, Rivermont Rocks. That's one word, to 44321. Rivermont Rocks to 44321. You can also go online to our webpage. You can make a check out to Rivermont Collegiate and mail it to the school's address. You can find that online. Or you can just give us a call, 563-359-1366. If you have a pledge, talk to me or Drew. If you have a complaint, call Mr. Dunbridge. Thank you very much. We love your children. We love you. Have a good night.